tempted from 8 sides on the path to salvation. This is what I would like to talk to you about today. This concept of being tempted from 8 sides was proposed by a monk, Elder Cleopas, and he has done a lot of work in the ways of putting these thoughts into the world so people can actually think and be aware of the temptations and the traps we kind of set ourselves up for mentally and how to combat it. Now, this concept was sent to me by a woman who has impacted me in a great way in my life, Victoria, taking me to church, being a spiritual mother in many ways. And what I'm going to talk about now is the 8 sides of how we are tempted, but I also am going to put a spin on it and critique, I don't know if that's the right word, add on to each of these 8 points on how to combat the temptation. Because, wow, there's a giant cat that's just, look at this cat. She's beautiful. Hold on, let's get this out. Hey, look at that. She has blue eyes. She's beautiful. And there's my baby. All right. Actually, I don't know if that's a girl or not, but whatever. How to combat these temptations. nice little distraction. So let's just dive right in. And I have these notes that I've taken on it, which I will post too. You can read. I have some things. I'm gonna follow the notes, but also go off on some tangents of whatever comes into me. And I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you really listen and listen not just with your ears, but with your heart and with your mind. Be open to some of the things that we're going to talk about here and see if it relates to your life and where you might be falling into some of these traps, or where you realize that, hey, some of these things are real and we need to be aware. We need to be aware to the temptations that kind of hold us back and impede us from progress on the way to salvation, on the way to progression in our lives and leveling up ourselves. So, number 1, tempted from behind. Your past, the sins and evil deeds that you committed, the wrong choices and the mistakes. Constantly thinking about them, reliving them, feeling guilt and shame from them, and ultimately punishing yourself because of it. When you do this, you're holding yourself back because you don't feel that you deserve the grace of God or anything good that is happening to you. And this one hit me pretty good because I have messed up a lot in my life. Wrong decisions, bad actions, mistakes, doing things wrong, and I lived in a way that punished myself, because you are fearful of people's judgment, and people will judge, and that's the thing. If you mess up and you consistently mess up, you will be judged in a way that's a person who messes up, so you got to be aware that, whoa, okay, if I do mess up, I should learn from it, right? And this kind of goes into, let's rewind before we go into how to combat it. This is a bit of depression, the regrets of the past. And I talk about this a lot. You can be put into a box by your depression, regretting you should have did something better. I wish this would have happened. I missed this person, I messed this up, I ruined a reputation, or I tainted it. Well, okay. How do you combat it? Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. It's easier said than done, 100%, because there is a lot of guilt and shame if you mess some things up, and especially if there's a lot of problems that were you're causing. But the best way to fix them is really forgiving yourself and understanding that we make mistakes. We mess up, we go off the path, we fall down, and we might stay down for a little bit because we're mad at ourselves. So realize that, and also realize that you're not the same person that did these mistakes and did these wrong actions. You need to learn from them. And that's the key point. You learn from your mistakes. And then when the opportunity presents itself that is similar, you do not do the same thing. You stay righteous to your heart, you stay strong in your convictions, and you move forward. Understand that. Understand that we all mess up. Don't be too hard on yourself, because you can punish yourself for a while, where things are starting to go good in your life and you think you did not deserve it, so you sabotage it. I've talked about this before too. Whenever a lot of good things are happening, you feel like you're unworthy of it, so subconsciously you kind of push them away, or you start to do things that kind of pull the thread and unravel it. Don't do that. Forgive yourself. Don't be as hard on yourself. Smile, because you're learning, you're growing. And another nice little tidbit is that your body is, if you're not the same person, 11 months, your cells regenerate and are completely different. And in 11 months, let's hope this is different too. Your mind, with the experiences and the understanding that growth is potential and that it's there. So that was one. Two, from the front. Fear of the future. Anxiety. Stay in it. The present. What will happen to me? What will happen to the world? How much longer will I live? Or what will they say? What are they going to think about me? What if I fail? Yo, that shit isn't even real. Excuse my language. I'm trying to be better at that for you viewers who are sensitive to that. Anxiety. It's things that are not real yet, that are not happened yet. It is, of course, 100% to be in your head about prepping for your future, but do not stress over it to the point where it's inhibiting you from living a happy and healthy life. How to combat it? Stay in the present. Stay in it. Stay 100% in the present. Have a plan so you can align your future with the goals that you want. And when you have a plan, and you work it right, you can kind of predict your future in a lot of ways. And take care of yourself. So how long will we live scared of that? Take care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally, spiritually, financially. Do the things that you need to do that cultivate health in all realms. You gotta eat the right food, cut out the wrong food, speak the problems you have to people who love and care about you. Open up, take care of your finances, take care of the things that need to be done. Don't just put it aside. Work it, and you will alleviate a lot of the stresses that you're having from the fear of the unknown in the future. Also, breathe it in and be a little excited about the future and the unknown. You can't plan everything, and adversity and tragedy will arise, but in those things, growth happens. Growth through adversity. 3. From the left. For you as a viewer, if it's backwards, left. And this is a call to obvious sin. Obvious sin. You know it's wrong, but you do it anyway. Fighting, stealing, cheating, abuse, impulsive things, acting on them, anything in excess, deceiving others. When you know it's wrong, but you do it anyway, kind of like a screw it, who cares type of mentality. It's a direct call to sin openly and consciously. This is one of the worst ones because you know it's wrong, and you're still doing it anyway. How do you combat it? Stop it. Easier said than done. You might have adopted the screw it attitude. Why? Why have you adopted the screw it attitude? You don't think anyone cares. Your life's going to shit anyway, so what does it matter? Throw that away. Realize that this conscious sin is only manifesting worse things. It might feel good now, but you are setting yourself up for a worse and bad time later. Do good. Good will happen to you. Okay? 4. From the right. This is in 2 parts. A. You perform good deeds and actions with bad or malicious intent and purpose. So you're doing good things for bad purposes, whether that's sinful, whether that's vanity, like you want to receive praise, obtain position, acquire fame, attain benefit from some sort of thing. That's ego. And dissolving your ego is a good thing, and that's what we should aim to do. But in dissolving it, say you dissolve it into water, okay? It is diluted, but it is still there, because sometimes the ego is necessary to keep us on certain ways and keep us level in some instances. So, be aware of that. B, receiving visions of the devil in the form of God or an angel of God. Now let's kind of break this down. I would like to. I think it'd be like false idols, in the sense of putting things on a pedestal that dictate your life and kind of give you the behavior that you think you need to be in. Social media is a big one. This perception of who we need to be and how we need to be. Me. Look at me. Look how good I am. Look at the things I'm doing. It's ego. Accepting these ways and things, put forth that way is delusion and it's deception. We don't want to be that way. So how do you combat it? Do good without expecting anything in return. When you do good this way, you will be rewarded, even if you don't get it immediately. We're always searching for that immediate gratification, but just do good things. Don't expect anything. Be aware that when you do good, good happens to you, but don't actively do it just for that reason. Okay? 2, be attentive. Be aware of the things that are influencing you in a way. The false idols and false gods. Drugs, celebrities, work, money is a big one. You know, a lot of people are motivated and shaped by money, pursuing it, and the things they do. It's not necessarily the right path. Be aware. 5, below. Laziness. When you are capable of doing good works or holy virtues, but you are too lazy to do so. And I'd rather watch and binge watch Netflix than take care of my relationship or family, or take my kids and invest in them. Looking for excuses not to do the good things. Well, it doesn't really matter, or it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Yeah, well, a lot of good and worthy things are hard to get to, right? You gotta take some stock in yourself and do it. Everyone likes to kind of be lazy every once in a while, and sometimes it is good, but more times than not, you should not be. How to combat it? Action. Action 100%. Nike, just do it. Just do it. Don't let others don't lie to yourself about these things, like making these excuses, and don't lie to others. When you make yourself better, you're making the world better. Remember that. From above. These are 2 parts as well. A, taking on an ascetic struggle that exceeds one's strength. So ascetic means severe self-discipline and abstinence from all forms of indulgences. Being that person who straight and narrow to the point where it's hurting you, and overdoing it is a struggle beyond one's spiritual and physical capacity. This is a problem because this lacks humility and is unreasonably presumptuous. You are hurting yourself by trying to stay on this path. And it kind of ties into ego here too, because look at me, look how straight and narrowed I am, look how good I am, right? And if it's kind of inhibiting you in your life, it's not good. You're not good to anyone if you yourself are falling apart. Okay? B, when someone strives to learn the mysteries of the Holy Scripture and God's mysteries in general, but does not do so according to one's spiritual maturity. So this is, he gives an example. Chewing through a bone with baby teeth. Sometimes you're not ready to understand the philosophies, concepts, and direction that have been put forth by people who are spiritually elevated. And this can be applied to to anything that doesn't necessarily have to be religious. If you are trying to figure out the world, life in general, sometimes you're not ready here. It's just kind of like alcohol, right? The age is 21. I think it should be way higher um, to actively drink, but we're just not ready yet to receive that type of responsibility. And sometimes it gets fumbled and understood in a way that is actually not true to the core of what it really means. So how do you combat these types of temptation? A, if you hurt yourself, what good are you to yourself, your family, and the world? Do not exceed that. Stay to where you take care of yourself first. Be disciplined, but not to the point where it is hurting you. When you are better, everyone else is better, right? B. Realize we are growing beings, mind, body, spirit. Some things we are not ready for, but you will be. The path is coming. Just stay on it. Keep learning, but do not try to absorb things that are above your pay grade. Yeah, weird, but you get what I'm saying. Understand that you, as an individual, need to level up. And this is kind of a thing in Skyrim. I talk about video games a lot. Sometimes you cannot do certain tasks because your level of whatever it is isn't up to the point where you can do the task. It's just like anything. You can't have a baby who's 5 drive a car. You can't lockpick in a master lock in Skyrim until you're at a certain level. You right? So understand that, but strive to get there. 7, from within. These are impure thoughts, desires, lusts that proceed from your heart. Now, we all have them, we all experience them, and it's sometimes if we cultivate them and go into them, we act on them, right? And that's where it's not the best. Sometimes things flow in. Sometimes things are pushed from our heart. How to combat this? Search yourself. When desire pops up, be aware as to why and where it's coming from. You might have to dig a little bit. You might have to search. And what has provoked it? In doing so, you grasp these desires and work with them consciously. And the desire is okay. It's a thought. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's something you full-heartedly believe. Acknowledge it, work it, see it, let it go. And the last one, from the outside world, especially now where the internet has really given us all this information. It's a great thing, but a lot of things are pushed at us all the time, right? External things and occasions. Everything that enters from the outside through one's senses, which are the soul's windows. That's kind of a cool concept. These things are not always evil in themselves, but by means of them, one's feelings can be tempted and induced to evil and sin. So this is where Elder Cleopas says how to combat it. For myself, I'll give mine, and it's kind of along the same lines, and it's attention. Be aware. Be very aware of the things that you're watching, that you're reading, that you're seeing, that you're putting yourself in contact with. And he says it as well. It's a Slovakian word, trezvini, and it means watchfulness. Attentiveness, carefulness, and wakefulness of soul and body. Wakefulness and vigilance of spirit. Sobriety and discernment. Attention to one's thoughts and actions. Judgment and prayer. Stay in it. Stay in the moment. Stay attentive by attention and prayer. And in doing so, you can combat these 8 temptations, these 8 ways that the devil tries to get you. And you will lead a happier, healthier life. We can all do it. We can all do it. My phone's telling me I have 1 minute left. That's good. If you have stayed with me this long, I hope these 8 temptations and ways to combat it have really helped and resonated with you. If it has, like, share, get this message out there. We are all in it together. Keep doing good work. keep cultivating good actions. When we level up, when we become better, everyone else around us does. The way to change the world is by changing ourselves. Much love. Stay in it. The direction is always progression. Take care.